Hey traders, TG Watkins here. It is March 21st when I'm recording this, and welcome to your Daily 5. All right, so we had the FOMC yesterday, and the market did cool off a little bit leading up to it, especially last Thursday. We saw definitely a break of some names. A lot of names on our breadth indicator went down, broke their 20-day SMA, broke their 50-day SMA. And we started seeing over the last several weeks, we started to seeing the VIX kind of creep up and kind of all that stuff. So it was something that was very interesting to me to pay attention to the VIX and say, okay, we got the FOMC back past, it's done, it's over. The markets went up yesterday, but is this going to be real? Is there going to be like a booby trap? Is there a trap door that's opening up? Like what's going on? And I figured if I look at the VIX, maybe that'll tell me a little bit. Well, sure enough, came over here, double checked things this morning, and you could see here is basically the trend line, and you could see yesterday and today the VIX making new lows. So I think this is pretty telling. I think this is basically confirmation from the VIX and the UVIX that, hey, the market's okay with this. They're happy with what Jerome Powell said. And basically, he reiterated that the Fed is most likely going to cut rates at some point this year. Of course, they're going to walk that back and say, well, if anything changes, we can do whatever we want. But he did say that's what we're looking for. That's our expectations. And the market apparently loves it. So you can see the VIX breaking down like this. And I'm going to say until otherwise, that looks like a good thing for the market. Now, not everything is peachy out there. Not all stocks are going up, so I've got a couple I want to show you at the end. All right, so here's a sector that I don't often watch, and what's interesting and kind of ridiculous is that Guess, clothing store, and Gap, the other clothing store, along with Levi, American Eagle, and Abercrombie and Fitch are all looking very strong, very strong. And so Guess just had earnings, and look what it did. And then a little while ago, Gap had earnings, and then they continue to amaze and whatever. I mean, you look at this and you compare it to Abercrombie and Fitch, you're like, what is going on out there? Apparently, the market thinks that the consumer is coming back and lower interest rates and whatever's going on there. There's definitely something happening with the retail space. So I thought I would bring this to your attention and see if you guys can find some opportunities, because even something like Guess that jumps up like this, you could see what happened in the past. Look at Gap. It jumped up, took a breather for a little bit, and then continued to jump up. So these things are definitely in bullish trends. And just as I said, want to make sure you guys are kind of aware of what's going on out there as far as the retail sector. And I don't mean just like retail like us, I mean like clothing. All right, now here's another one. We are actively in this. We actually got in right here. And the reason we got into this was because of the trampoline move. So this is just a filter company, but it is doing very, very well. And there is a massive amount of volume that has been coming into this thing, driving this thing higher. So what first caught my eye was this daily trampoline move. And a trampoline move is when price is below the 50 SMA, but the Moxie indicator is above 0. It's a high pressure, high buoyancy type setup. And you could see that. And then you could see price tested the daily 50, and it has not looked back since then. And where price tested the 50 was also an hourly trampoline move. So price below the 50, Moxie indicator above 0, and this thing has just been going bonkers. We are up about 22% up here on a filter company. So who would have guessed, but that volume was looking pretty great, and so we've been all over this thing and having a great time with it. All right, then another one, CLSK. So this is basically the best of the Bitcoin miners. Now, honestly, the Bitcoin miners have really diverged and disconnected from Bitcoin itself. And they've been pretty weak over the last, several weeks. Okay, we've been trading Mara and a couple other things like that, made great money off of them. And then they all just started to flounder and pull back. I'm like, oh, okay, well, let's see what's going on here. And I was kind of thinking that if they could not get righted, and if they couldn't keep going, then Cleanspark was probably the next one to go, and I figured it was going to break down into the daily 50. Well, as of yesterday, again with FOMC and Jerome Powell and apparently lower interest rates, instead of breaking down, you can see that CLSK perfectly held this level and is now up again. So this looks fantastic, and this definitely looks like something in an area that I want to be getting into. So now I just need to kind of find my way into something like this, along with, like Mara and BitF and Riot and Hive. I mean, a lot of these things are starting to run as of yesterday. Now, I don't want to go chase them. I'm going to see if I can find opportunities. So if you guys are looking for something like this is where you come on over to the Moxie room, and we talk about this all day. I'm on the mic most times throughout the day, And yeah, we're going to be looking for proper entries on this kind of stuff. So come on over if you guys are interested. All right, then let's take a look at TIGR. So I wanted to show this. Now, the Chinese names are a mixed bag. We're seeing some strength. We're also seeing some weaknesses. And I wanted to kind of bring this to your attention that even though the market's looking great and FANG stocks are up and yeah, crypto's up and all this kind of stuff, there are still a lot of stocks that are not participating out there. Okay, so you can't just blindly buy anything and go for it. And then the Chinese names are kind of a mix. And as I said, I just want to show you guys this as kind of an example because if you look at this for this one in particular, you can see it was doing very, very well, even jumped up like this. And I think it was earnings that then took it down. So it kind of had a run up into earnings and then earnings sent it back down. So again, not everything is participating. I'm a little surprised at some of the Chinese names that are doing well versus the ones that are not. So you do need to take things case by case situation. Yes, you do have the wind at your back for the overall market, but again, not everything is going. So find the right stocks, and if they don't work, get out of them because otherwise you're going to get stuck in something like this, and you don't want to do that. But yeah, big move right up in earnings, and then crunch. Maybe this thing will come back later, but right now I don't see anything. And this is another reason why I really try to avoid trading earnings. You just never know what's going to happen on earnings. All right, so that's TIGR. But over here is all the various information for social media, Facebook, Instagram, you name it. Pretty well connected, so if you guys are interested, come check me out. All right, guys, thanks again. We'll see you with the next one. Take care.